basically the character.
As long as you get that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, we killed him.
Or go to build a bear and get a custom.
So, whose turn is it to do the recap?
I think I did it last week.
I'll give it a stab.
Okay, have you got any notes at all, or are you just freestyling?
Oh no, I'm going to freestyle it as always.
This is just
Who
absolute
takes
bullshit.
notes unless it's like something directly told to you? It's like
Fucking
you need to remember this. All right, I'll write that down.
So we, after convincing the Draugr, the little dwarven dudes that align to the Vale, that they should go block up the other exits. We hunkered down and had a short rest, and Rock blocked any kind of made sure that no one would disturb us in this time. We were relatively safe. I believe I reattuned to his necklace or did something in the short term. And we successfully had a rest, and then Faust said to his field guardian, come here, or come to me, in which he proceeded to, in the most forthright way, smashing through into the sewers on a wall on the other side of our kind of chamber, and proceeded then to punch through into our where we were. So came through to the south, punched through where we were with the help of Tauchi, punching the other side of the wall as well with some imbued fists between the two of them. They managed to create an opening. And the Field Guardian was there, happy to see Faust, I guess, as happy as a Field Guardian can be. We then proceeded through, saw a chest, immediately realised it was a mimic, thanks to the handy detailed map we got from the chest, and ignored it. We stepped through, and then we started to be set upon by little rat creatures. Tauchi tried to tell them to run in what little rat he knows, but it turns out rat dialect that varies from rat to rat and area to area. So whether it worked or not, I think it was run or leave or something basically get the fuck out of Dodge. And Rock, who asked to come with us, escort us, couldn't make it through the opening right away, so he was kind of clambering around at the back. So then we proceeded to wail on a series of rats. Tauchi went for a little explore, came back, nothing really happened. We wailed on some rats, and some really big tough ones and some little ones. We saw some Draugr were floating on the outskirts, but didn't really engage. It looked like they were quite happy to... Is it Draugr? Am I getting that right? Draugr, there we go, so close. I'm getting confused with the Drow. Draugr, yeah, Draugr were on the outskirts. Didn't get involved. Left us to it. We got through a fair few of them, but they seemed to keep coming. Lots of kind of trading blows, but we appeared to be in good shape. Then there was a break in the action, and a little creature named Plop kept. I think I don't know if everyone could hear him, but definitely Slicks could. And the very unnatural voice, given the size of the creature, saying it's a god and bow down and worship me. And interesting. Let's see how that unfolds. So we're doing all this, and then we explore further into the caves, closer towards the Rat King's domain, where the Rock eventually gets through. Tells Rock to kill all of the rats, indiscriminately kill all the rats. Before that, just as he's about to kind of go south and kill some more, one of the larger rats, like the rat behemoths, asks for a parley and offers to take us to the king. We talk amongst ourselves, deciding what to do, whether we agree, whether we fight, whether we don't do it. Slicks. Now, be very careful how I remember this. So, Slick, I believe, bet Faust that he couldn't hit all of them with the fireball, or it would bet him some silver or a small amount of coinage. Faust, I don't want to say, I think he hesitated, but ultimately ended up sending a fireball to the center of the map of where they believed the rats were. They were all killed. All of them, bar the one in the middle, were killed instantly. Where the one in the middle was singed and yelled out, "Your oath has been broken. You betrayed," and this kind of echoed and was seemed extremely poignant and definitely go back to bite us in the arse. Which then Slicks then went yippee or made some kind of happy noise, and then gave Faust the coin. Oh no, then there was basically like the little wager that they had between the two of them. I can't remember if Slicks threw a coin at Faust or Faust threw a coin at Slicks. Although I think Slicks has a coin of Mephistopheles on the sideboard. I'm not sure if it was this session or the session before. And which then sent County into a raid and started wailing on Bloop. As Slicks went to defend Bloop, Tauchi then started wailing on Slicks. Tenok watched on, hoping they would resolve it themselves, not that they would go too far. Faust tried to do hold person, I think, which didn't work. Slicks took a little bit of damage, but ultimately was able to brush Tauchi off. Tauchi then stormed off. I don't know if he did a speech or anything. I think he just kind of was a bit like fed up with the lack of moral compass in the group and stormed off back towards what appears to be the citadel of the Hammer. Tenos then instructs Rock to throw Slicks out of the hole, which Slicks does not fight against. He just like proceeds to let him do it. Tenos says to Faust, "You want to do this the easy way or the hard way?" Faust more or less ignores Tenos and goes back to looking at the golem. Oh yeah, the golem died. It took a fatal blow and it died. Forgot about that. Sorry, Faust.
Not important.
Not important. Not important. Faust is more occupied with the golem. He kind of then just clambers up and makes his way out of the hole on his own. As Tenos is about to leave, he is then met by Gorag Gutterfish, I think. Glorfine Guttermouth?
But it's Gorath Guttertooth.
Gorath Guttertooth, there we go. Gorath Guttertooth, very nice. I mean, I could just open up my bio, my character sheet, and Gorath Guttertooth says he saw what this is. As the Council of Tenos getting a double crit, blessing from the gods, he offers his assistance to Tenos and his allegiance, I believe, after witnessing what went on down there, believing him to be, I think, either the leader or at least associated with the thieves faction in the sewers, who are, I think, enemies of the Rat King people. And then Tenos proceeds to leave the sewers by the opening where the field guardian came in from originally. And I think that was it.
Okay, so something that I would like to highlight is the whole bet thing was only done because Dave couldn't decide if he wanted to fireball or not, and I was like, I'll give him a little push. Not expecting him to just destroy everything with one spell.
I think had Rick not emphasized this would have changed our alignment as characters, then maybe there might not have been as much RP. Maybe.
Well,
not putting on the DM, not in the slides, because it's very cool what happened.
Not like just so that it was very clear that there would be consequences. I did say that the rat who was talking to you swore a sacred blood oath to give you safe passage and for a truce through this passage, and then you convinced him to have all the hidden ones reveal themselves and all make the same blood oath. So they were all very much prepared for a peaceful parley. And that's why they were caught unawares, and all of them automatically failed their dex saving throws.
But how do we know that? I mean, are rats inherently trustworthy? I mean, they just started attacking us out of nowhere. I mean,
Well,
Blood oaths, they're a bit barbaric as it is anyway. Spilling blood. What does that
we
prove?
are where we are.
And then the other thing I wanted to point out is the me saying that I didn't want to fight the strength check from the golem wasn't Slicks just allowing it to happen. It was just me thinking it's more fun RP wise, just allow whatever it to happen. So Slicks wouldn't have. He would have fought it, but I just wanted to say that it's going to pass anyway because I wanted it to fail. Basically, I wanted Slicks to fail the strength check.
so it's not because Slicks is a little bitch.
No. He's just a little bit betrayed.
Oh.
You know, in his opinion, it wasn't that bad. He's done worse shit. And he's inherently an evil character. So he didn't see that it... Well, yeah, he's lawful evil. Just due to the nature of his work. You know, you can't be a good person that's an assassin that just goes killing people for a job.
I suppose it's doing those deeds in front of other characters that are not evil. So sneakily, killing a guard without the others knowing, fair enough.
Yeah. But the thing is, he didn't kill anyone. Nobody gave a shit that Faust did it. It was all on Slicks for, making a bet in jest, not knowing if it was going to go through or not. Oh, Faust, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Somebody told you to do it.
I don't think Tauchi attacking Slicks directly was 100% about the actions of Slicks in that instance. I think it's been a culmination of what has happened and a shift in Tauchi's character.
Yeah. I know that he's been trying to hint that he's slightly becoming less balanced from, a balance of like good and evil, that he's lying towards more violent streaks.
Well, yeah, maybe previously he
From
may
him
have
holding the
thought,
sword.
now he just...
Yeah. But yeah, where's the cutscene?
So where we pick things up. So Slicks was skulking away and making his exit. Tauchi has already marched off, and so the party is somewhat split, with Tenos climbing up and Faust behind. But after a few minutes, you all find yourselves like kind of foggy-headed, as though something is kind of pulling at you, and kind of there's a cloud around your mind, and you kind of feel super disoriented for a while. And after a while, you can't really nail down how long it takes, but after a while, you find yourselves in a part of the hammer that I don't think you guys have ever seen before. I'll move you guys over there now. This is a large, expansive area that goes out for quite a way, but it's covered in like an eerie mist, and there's very obvious tombstones and graves all around as far as you can see. But you all find yourself, even though you're going off in different directions, all of you except for Tauchi, so Tenos, Slicks and Faust, you find yourselves at an area here, and in front of you, with her arms folded, is someone who you definitely do recognise, and that is the Lady Adira. and she has a message for you. Now, do I put this in the Discord chat or WhatsApp? What's the best way for everyone to watch this at the same time?
Is it an actual video?
It's a YouTube video.
Just pop it in the Discord. Actually, there's a thing in Discord now to watch things together.
Oh, by the time
Yeah,
it worked out,
if you click start an activity and click watch together, YouTube. Oh, I've just clicked it.
oh, look, nice.
Oh,
Okay, so I'll put the link in the chat here, and then one person can play it and everyone can see it.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do it if you want.
I will join your activity.
Yeah, if everyone join the activity.
Loading. Yeah, I think so. Oh. Yeah.
Everyone
Sorry,
see it?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, lock. Okay, let's go. Go for it.
It's very small.
Click expand. There should be an expand. If you hover over it.
Well.
Oh yeah.
Is it separate? Small for everybody?
It's fine.
All right, I'm
I'll
going.
not allow you to keep me longer than I must be kept. There are things to do.
Rick, you're echoing.
I'm Dave.
Am I echoing?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was.
I think it was just Rick.
Oh, okay.
That's I'll start again.
Well. I'll not allow you to keep me longer than I must be kept. There are things to do. There are those who strive and are able to twist or break the path of fate. And there are those who tread its path dutifully. It would seem your companion Tauchi has left to do the latter. He has left his book in our care, but his last entry may be of interest to you.
I was young once. Now, I feel older than old. I've seen too much. The gaps in my mind have been piecing themselves together, and now I miss the days when I didn't remember. All that I am and have been is still not clear to me. What was once a feeling in my heart is now a burning need. My fate is calling out to me. I've seen what walks towards us. I fear that unless I hasten my pilgrimage to my fate, all will fall. The souls of my companions come ever closer to ruin. I go now to collect the blade and complete the great conjunction, to forge the answer to his curse and make all things anew. I hope that my companions can find a way through the rest of this quest together and be all that they are meant to be. If only they knew what would happen if they fail. Athelion must be put to the blade we forged. I leave this book once again with the ladies. The pages are filling quickly, and it is soon time for my story to begin anew. Farewell.
Very cool.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
So
Let's just feel like a pop quiz trying to spot all the different films that was from.
in the absence of a dramatic RP ending, exit from Ollie, I thought that would be a suitable way to give him an exit.
That was very
That
cool.
was good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So Thilian must be put to the blade reborn.
So, the Lady Adira, after she's let you guys read the passage from the book, slams it closed, and turns to you and says, like I said, there are things to do. It is unfortunate that in order to bring you all together, I had to take you to this horrible place. Please forgive me, but needs must. Time is of the essence. I bid you adieu. And she closes the book and starts walking away.
Ooh. Dear lady, where are we?
My good fellow, you are in the ghosts. And she can elaborate on that, but she's kind of talking over her shoulder as she's walking away.
I'll kind of walk, not necessarily keep pace, but kind of walk in the direction that she's walking. And say, can you care to elaborate?
Hang on. How do I get rid of this big screen that is taking up all
Um,
my Discord thing?
So the bottom left, where you can mute and stuff, you should see a leave activity button
Aha. There we go.
above where. There you go.
There we go. Cool. So you're asking her to elaborate.
Yeah, yeah. What do you mean when you're on the ghost?
Well, this is where the noble but also the dangerous dead of the Hammer have always been disposed of. Some grand burials, some ditches in the dirt. Strange things tend to happen here from time to time, but mostly it is a repository for what remains after life has been snuffed out.
Begs the question, why? Please, carry on.
I must go and try and help deal with the thing that you awoke, and is now making its way rather speedily in this direction, along with that army, I suppose. But, priorities and that.
Unless we are to meet our fate, but why did you bring us here?
It was not my intention to bring you here specifically. This is just where you happened to come out after I gathered you all together. This message needed to be brought to all of you at once. As I say, time is of the essence. I can't be chasing around after individuals going off on their own.
And I'll be just doing that, Slick says. And he turns to the rest of the group and he says, well, I'm here to do a job, and it no longer involves the rest of the team. So, as we've already seen, I don't believe we can work together anymore. And it is time for me to go and fulfill my role.
What's that role?
Sorry. That's a secret of the Order.
Say, stay healthy, and look after Blue.
So now you care.
I think Faust will look just very confused and be like, whatever.
If you are acting upon the order, then so be it.
I mean, yeah.
But
that
this
was
is
calling. Enjoying, playing an adventure again. Enjoying the fruits of battle. But I had a wake-up call. Turns out I can't get along with everybody, and work must be done.
As you wish, but I must say this, unfortunately, is bigger than our needs and wants at the moment. But I can't stop you.
Hey, we each have our role to play. And mine's not running around with you little adventures.
Little adventurers. I nearly called you a friend. Best of luck. Look after Blue.
Oh, I'm gonna look after him.
You made it sound oddly sexual. Oh, I'm gonna look after him.
Six is gonna cast Misty Step and dash away into the darkness.
Slicks is away. As Adira is going off in a different direction, but leaving surprisingly speedily, she calls back over her shoulder. But it's a kind of, you hear it as though she's standing right next to you. It's though she's kind of speaking, but also using the message spell, and you hear in your head, I do suggest you think long and hard about what your task actually is and stay true to it and do all you can to see it through. Remember your priorities. There is a god coming to this place that you happen to be, intent on destroying everything it sees. And there's also an army come here, intent on displacing everyone who happens to be wearing the wrong sigil. Think about your next move very carefully. Time, as I said, is of the essence.
I think Faust would call to her using message as necessary, saying, "Is Buttercup okay?"
The lady is settling in well.
Is she safe?
She is completely unharmed. She is burdened by the task ahead of her, of course, to maintain balance in this world and try best to put right the wrinkles that are now walking towards here. But she is doing well now she is back home. I will pass on your words of concern, of course.
Is she happy?
She stops walking, and she doesn't turn back to you, and she's a fair way away at this point. But the pause seems as though she's trying to figure out what exactly you mean by that. She is not in any pain or discomfort or danger, and she is content and satisfied with what she is doing. When order is restored, I'm sure she'll have far more time to enjoy this world once we put it back into balance. But a witch's work is never done.
Can Forge be trusted?
That pitiful creature. Forge can be trusted to play his part. He is bound by his curse, and there is no force on this world that will allow him to break it. He will do exactly as he must. Everything that can be made, he will make. Everything that can be reforged, he will reforge. He must.
Why did the brothers turn on each other?
I assume you're talking about the old dark days. You know they're just stories, don't you? Stories that children tell each other. But of course you get any two individuals of particular strength and talent and you leave them alone for hundreds of years. Eventually,
one will try to outdo the other. It is the natural
There's
order of
no-
things, and that is why steps must always be taken to restore balance. It cannot just be
By
left to
steps.
itself.
By steps, do you mean the hammer?
I mean the ladies, my dear boy. We are the ones who ultimately restore balance. We have our tools. And fate has its. We deal the hands we play the hands we are dealt. You can tell that she's deliberately kind of not speaking entirely as plainly as she could.
Hmm. To proceed with our goal, it would help us greatly to know who our enemies are. As you said, they are stories, fairy tales, but there must be some element of truth in them.
Just because they are stories and fairy tales meant to scare children does not mean they are not also true. Forget about the stories and think about the facts. There is a god walking towards you. A god you have the tools to stop. A god that I would quite like to see stopped. You also have an army coming towards your city. I care less about that. But at a personal level, you may wish to not find yourselves at the more confused side of a sharp blade. Her image is almost is completely. You cannot see her now. She's kind of lost in the mists. You can still hear her, and you can still communicate, but you have no visual contact with her at all. She has just been carrying on going.
Okay, I think that's fine for now. She's clearly not in a talking mood.
I think she's in a rush. See,
Hmm.
I mean, on the bright side of things, we have got the other part of the sword. We've got confirmation that Forge will make the sword.
When you
presumably.
say we,
What I
exactly
mean,
do you mean by that?
so we last time we saw the sword, it was rushing off towards the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Calci has half the sword. The other half
On
sword
the
was
back of
inside the hammer.
on his back.
Mm-hmm.
We just got Tauchi's book. We didn't get it. We were shown Tauchi's book.
So
the
both
latest
sides, both parts are with Tauchi.
Yeah, did you not listen to the bit of the video that said he is doing the Great Convergence?
Yeah, no, I got that bit. I'm kind of making an assumption that he's just kind of like dropped it off at Forge. Just
So,
like, we'll pick it up
what,
later.
what you know from the Tauchi's entry and what you know of the wider lore nuggets, you know that Tauchi has half the sword strapped to his back. He is on his way to the hammer to get the other half, and he's going to take both halves along with all the other Tauchis that are wandering about and take them to Forge in order for this broken blade to be made anew.
So
I mean, that's a fancier way of saying that we'll pick it up from Forge in a bit.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it's a fancy way of Tauchi's going to rebuild the sword and they go to kill Athelion with it.
Oh.
Whether or not he's the same person after the sword is reforged, we don't know.
we don't know if there will even be a person, if not maybe just a sword remains and nothing else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it could be. I may have muddled up the lore stuff, but would it be Forge that wields the sword?
No.
Once he's made it? No.
So you have.
So is Forge's only job here just to reforge the sword, and then that's his job done or something?
So we think. So it started with the father, a knight, wanted to. It starts with no less the old gods effectively fighting and creating chaos, and a knight struck a bargain with the trickster that we think is Ford,
Okay.
and the trickster, the knight had sacrificed two of his sons. That the trickster turned one of the sons into the god killer, and the other into a mountain. And between the two of them, which is Athelian and the god killer, they fought back the old god. So the father, we don't know who that is. The trickster, we think might be Forge because he was cursed. So in theory, if Forge is the trickster, he created the god killer blade in the first place.
Right. So is the God Killer blade the sword, and Athelion is the other brother, and they worked together? So basically, it was the big mountain God Killer with the sword was the two brothers together.
Effectively, yes. We don't know if the sword is sentient and can act on its own.
So,
I suspect it was used by the hammer, aka the dragon, at some point.
so what we don't want to happen is we don't want Athelion to get hold of the sword, because I think that's a bad thing.
Yes, but we want to use the sword somehow on Athelion. But how do we do that?
So what is Tauchi's goal after he's reunited the sword?
So, in the lore, the sword was spread across the land upon thousands of pieces, and it's implied that Tauchi is one of those pieces.
Yeah, I get that, but once they've combined together and all the pieces have been reunited, is there just going to be a sword on the floor that it's just there, or is it going to be someone to wield it?
I think it is just left there and no one's to wield it. That's what I think is that. I think that's basically where we come in.
Okay.
I say we. I mean, Flix is buggered off into the night.
Yeah.
For now, at least. And Faust is there scratching his horns.
Yeah, I was struggling to make sense of it initially, and
I would recommend looking at my diagram.
No, I was looking at your diagram. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued how close it is.
Well, the thing that unsettles me is the hammer, who the hammer, as in the dragon, is aligned with, and why he even turned up in the first place, and why the hammer and the god killer were fighting Athelion, even if Athelion and the god killer were bored with each other or competing with each other. What's the hammer's purpose in this? And by removing the sword, will it wake the dragon up that's decomposing? Don't know.
Yeah, the fact it's decomposing, if it does wake up, it's going to be a long time before it can get back into a fighting shape. You know, unless there's some like crazy OP healers that could just heal it up.
And
he's a dragon.
Negate everything.
And Forge, like, what is Forge? If what is Forge's curse? If it is the trickster, why was the trickster cursed? Was he cursed by the old gods? Or was he cursed by the father for basically sacrificing his son?
Yeah, it could be it could be speculation here.
Yeah.
The old gods got annoyed that the trickster made something that can fight them. Or maybe, as you say, it was the father, but would the father have the power to curse the trickster?
I mean,
I don't know what the law.
We thought the trickster might be Mephistopheles. Maybe Faust should have a little word.
Yeah. But anyway,
the speculation is delicious.
Yeah, Rick doesn't need to write a story. He just has to listen to all our speculations and just pick the right one that sounds cool.
You know what?
One thing that I will say, one thing that I will this kind of all the stuff that happened in that backstory is completely set in stone and written out in detail. That is not being changed based on any speculation. No matter how cool the ideas are, that has all been locked in since
Right.
the beginning.
So Athelian bad, even though he might not have started out bad, he is now bad now.
Mhm.
Um,
Maybe he like went a bit mindless with his power or something.
well, I mean,
The hammer.
in hashtag throwback the live D&D sessions, the can't remember the name of the big trolls we fought. They were the sons of Athelion, weren't they? So they weren't exactly charmers. So but the hammer, and I don't know about the hammer, but the god killer is probably good.
So what I can speculate here again is perhaps the hammer being in charge of this city, their city was endangered by maybe Athelion or something. So the hammer then teamed up with the god killer to stop Athelion, but then it ended up in a draw or something.
I mean, maybe the dragon's the asshole.
Maybe, or maybe there's a third
If it
party.
turned brother on brother,
Well,
We don't know.
the ladies kind of outdate the city, so they ultimately know the truth, and they're deliberately being vague.
Yeah,
And
because you can't just tell us the answers. That'll be
no,
boring.
no, that is true. But I mean, they could also have a part in what happened as well through various
Yeah.
decisions or interfering. Maybe they interfered before, and now they don't want to interfere
Yeah.
again or whatever. But I mean, ultimately, we either go, depending on where we go now, either directly to Forge, or we go try and go to the Hammer to intercept
Yeah.
Fauci, although I think that's
I
probably fruitless to try and intercept him directly there.
Yeah, I
think
think
it's
what she was trying to get across now is when she said, "Remember what your goal is to stop worrying about this power vacuum and talking to the Lord." So they go back to the ladies, they go back to the Lords, they go back to the ladies to worry about Athelion that's walking towards us and the army, and to put the people before everything else. Other stuff can be sorted out after the immediate danger that is Athelion and the army coming to wipe out everybody bad who Amsa Bill think are bad.
but it's still if we get the people in charge on side, then
How long is that going to take though?
how
It's not
long have
going to
we got
be.
until the dude's here? It's what, the 12th of Black, and he's here on the 15th of Black.
How do you know he's going to be on the 15th of Black?
Is that not what we were told previously?
Are you
No.
completely certain as to what day it is?
I mean,
You
We
last
don't know
I
how
checked,
long we were blacked out for.
You're
We have
very
been
foggy.
wandering around a bit.
You're very
Yeah.
foggy, and you the 15th is based on intelligence that you got, which was an estimate from an eyewitness.
An eyewitness
sent
that
by
saw it
message.
and ran away, and we just heard that it's actually moving faster now.
Okay, but we still need. So we speak to the guys in charge. We get them to evacuate the city. We get like an emissary or something
What?
to the gods. I mean, we can't. What we can't do is we can't have the fucking god turn up and simultaneously be having a fight amongst men. That's
I
bad.
think. So what would be, so just to kind of remind me, Faust. This is
Yeah.
Tenos talking to Faust now. Did you, when you started on this quest, was it the governor directly that you spoke to, or did you just have an emissary that give you your quest?
Do you remember, Dave? Do you need a reminder from your eternal...
Can I send a message? The stone.
It was a
It was. Yeah, it was the governor via a stone.
So so given that this chain of events started with the governor for both of us, not just here but back in Amston Bowl, I think the swiftest action would be to get word to the governor via magical means or otherwise to update him on the situation and our progress. And perhaps the bigger more important things that are about to happen. Because I'm sure they would be interested to know that the Vale has lost its leadership, and attacking the city might be somewhat fruitless. But also, we need every able-bodied person potentially to fight Athelion.
You do have a means of communicating with the
little
forces
raven.
of Anson Will. And you have used it in the past.
Yeah. That goes to the forces.
It goes to the marching army.
Ah.
What's that?
I thought the raven went to the dude.
Oh no, yes, you're right. Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, because it was when it set off. Yeah, you have. Yeah, it can go. So it comes from the governor, but like you can tell it where to send messages to.
Well, it depends if you're in agreement, Faust, whether it's been too long since we've actually, as far as our original quest is concerned, we've accomplished that. But we are working outside of our parameters now, let's say.
Yeah. I mean, I think Faust is fairly resolute in so much as we need a united force in so much as is possible. So the Watch, the Eye, the Amps and Burl, all on the same side. I said,
I'm fairly confident. I say fairly confident. I think it would be a shame to waste the Vale as they are, sticking them in stockades, locking them away. Would be a waste. I'm sure they're not all criminals. It's an organisation like any. All they need is a bit of steering. And at that point, kind of Tennis will kind of pull out the blade a bit more. The ornate kind of veil blade. In the right hand, we may be able to reunite them. I'm hinting towards South.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think we need. It would be so silly to just kill them or throw them all in when they're good fighters, or some of them are good fighters at least. But I think to get them on side, I mean, where would we start with that? Would you start with the lords, your missus's dad?
I think the Lords is a good place if we can convince them that. Well, in the first instance, I think we need to get a message to the governor. That's like priority one. Ask him to delay the invasion, and
It's never an invasion, right? It's just send help.
At that point, as at the stroke of 9 o'clock our time, I'd like, because yeah, I plan these things to the time. Can you both make a perception check, please?
while we're just chatting in the graveyard.
Yeah. While you're just chatting in the spooky, ominous, mist-filled graveyard full of dead bodies all around you. 17, pretty good. 3. Okay, so Tenos, you are oblivious to this completely. Faust, however, you can hear in this kind of mangled, rubbled stone tower over your shoulder. You can hear a muttering. You can't make out the exact words, but you can hear a muttering, and you just see about this big, just kind of a little purple shape just popping over what the remnants of a parapet. It's purple round shape with what looks like a single eye just popping up, and you hear muttering. Then after this muttering stops, you hear a little giggle
No.
as this thing disappears and juts off. And I am just going to move some things from the GM layer to the token layer.
So can we see it?
And after this giggling and this thing floats off, the ground all around you just seems to move slightly. And then it moves a bit more. The surface starts breaking up. And there's it's not a rumble like an earthquake or anything like that, or a tremor, but you just hear the sound of movement underneath the ground. And as little kind of guts of the surface break and air kind of pops through the surface, your nose is filled with this horrible stench of rotting meat. And as it carries on, this is happening all around you.
Okay, I think whilst this is happening, I think I'd urge Tenos and let's get up these stairs. Let's get off this ground. Let's get up these stairs.
Okay.
And there are quite a few zombies that have risen up from the ground and are now completely surrounding you. They look around for a second or two, but then in that very zombie way, they focus in on the two living creatures in the immediate vicinity. And you hear all around the as they've locked eyes on you and are pacing towards you.
Let's call that tap on the head and say, friends of yours still done?
Oh, look, this is not a good situation here. Oh dear, I don't quite know how you're going to get out of this one, but I suggest you do. And let me just get the character sheet up, because it's time for the two of you to roll me some initiative.
Right. I'm going to be a little more pro-fireball this time. Oh, wow, that is bad.
Okay. So it's 4. Okay, so Faust, you get first go.
Okay. So.
Not that I would condone it, but bear in mind I'd take half fire damage.
I've lost track as well. 10, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it, if I'm honest.
You don't have like evocation, do you?
No, okay, I'll tell you what we'll do instead. Okay.
I also have fire as well, remember?
Thick. 20-foot diameter. Okay, I think I'll wall of fire. And I will go in a circle. Say like this. No, it's too thick. Can you draw a circle? Oh, hang on. Let me do.
Have you moved your mic, Dave?
You can make it linger if you need to.
Let's go to 10, shall we?
Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted to move around. Yeah, no, mind. Keep.
Yeah, I want it basically like there.
Okay.
So I'm technically in this square here.
Move it.
But but I'll put my character there just so it's between the two of us.
I'm sure we could occupy the same square if we wanted to.
Aye.
You just
Ah!
have a hug. There you go.
Thank you. I couldn't work out how to do the circle. I've done it before, and I'm clearly stupid.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Okay, so 11 of them are within that wall of fire. So do 17 on 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 3 out of 20. That's 1 half out of 10. So 1 would survive. We're going by the mob rules of D&D, where you play the average when there's lots of people. So that one there survives. And you have a wall of fire around you. And I've deleted the zombie who was in the turn order. That's handy. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so they take damage when they go into the wall, and... Oh, sorry. So the first time they go into the wall, they take damage, and then if they end their turn there, they take damage.
Okay, gotcha. So, zombies are all going to crowd as close as they can. They're going to really bunch up. But without crossing the threshold just yet. Okay, Tenos, what are you going to do?
Hammerfall is going to turn to firstly. That's bought us some time, but we probably cut an exit through them. So this one in front of us initially, I'm just gonna slash at it.
Yeah, that absolutely hits.
9.
Yep.
Okay, go again.
Yep, 16 hits.
Ignore the +4. It's still up.
It's still up, just it's got 3 HP left.
I think this one here ended its turn in the fire.
That's very true. It did. Boom.
Attack again. 12.
12 does hit.
Ooh. 8.
And that one is dead.
I'm gonna also do second wind. So my level plus 1d10 came back as health.
Okay.
So d10. I get.
Ooh.
Oh god! Fine, I get 12 health.
I
I'll
mean,
take that.
yeah, you're high enough level. That's still not a bad amount of healing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, is that your turn?
That is. That is my turn. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the dialogue open with Sildar. If he's got any bright ideas, or like I said, if he sees anyone he recognises, just let me know.
So as you say that, Sildar does say, "Wait, I feel something. Something is coming at great speed. It's something strange. It's different to all of this. I can't quite sense it, but I think help might be on the way." And as he says that, you can both just about see, but you don't have a clear picture at all. There is someone coming towards you, and as they get close, you just hear the sound of something hitting the ground, and words, and a blue flash emanating out from this individual. And you see, rather remarkably, as this wave of blue energy comes around, passes through the flames, passes over the two of you. Get the slight kind of sound of some kind of feeling on Sildar through the helmet. But other than that, it passes through you guys without any incident. And all of these zombies just crisp up, like as though they're on fire, but you can't see the flames. And then they just turn to dust that just wafts through. The ones that are on the side, kind of on the front, the dust that goes through the fire, it kind of starts spackling you with little tiny sparks as the wall of flames lights them up, and every single one of these zombies just disperses into dust and is instantly gone.
That was handy.
On the other
I've
side,
done that before I used my cooldown.
on the other side of the wall of flames, there is a figure standing. And who do they see?
Well, they see Wilfred, a slightly old-looking elf, which you think is quite strange, as elves are usually quite youthful-looking. However, he looks very old and battle-worn. He's in chainmail and he's holding a shield, but rather than wielding a weapon like a sword or a mace, he is just holding a long ornate staff with green glowing runes all over it. And he says, so you're the guys we've got on the inside, eh? You're who that cat has been is a that cat has hired to deal with this situation.
I think Faust would say it depends on what cat you're talking about. Do you care to explain yourself? As he's kind of like just raising a hand, not aggressively, but very much prepared to cast spells as necessary.
So is the wall of flames still up?
Definitely.
Okay.
Let's say it's simmering.
He
Like
he
knee
goes
high.
into his he pulls out of his pocket a badge that you may recognize as the badge of the Amson Burl Watch. So why the governor, of course.
I
Would,
where did you get that badge?
I'm a member of the watch. I'm here to help.
Tenos will step forward. Say, who's the current captain of the watch in the Anthem Bar?
Well, Rosh, although he's been absent recently.
And we'll make an action across his chest and say,
Hey, I'm not any of that. Don't have anything to do with that. That's a stayed on our watch, and we're rooting it out.
would what is your name?
My name's Wilfred.
Just Wilfred.
Just Wilfred.
Were you happened to be posted in Anthem Bar during the plague of the Solus?
Unfortunately, I was away at the time. They really could have used my help, it seems, due to my expertise, but I was away on a mission.
It was it was desperate times. There was lots of unsavourables, especially lots of hanging as well. I wouldn't concern yourself with that.
Yeah, looking back on it, maybe someone may have intercepted my orders and made it so I wasn't there when they needed me the most. Definitely that this character didn't exist during that time. And I only made him up last week.
So Telos will kind of like sort of step towards the flame, and
Oh yeah, you're well, not immune. Are you immune to fire?
no half damage. I won't step into.
Right.
I'm on the line, but he won't step through the flame, and he'll kind of like waft it as in wafting a bad smell with a shield, and then look back at Faust.
Faust will drop the shield wall, the firewall.
And kind of nod in appreciation, and step forward to greet Wilfred. But can cannot do any kind of check to see if he's telling the truth.
Oh, you can do an insight check, yeah.
Okay. I'm only thinking what tennis would actually do. Ooh.
Everything he's saying checks out completely.
Okay.
You know that the watch are coming. You know that there's the watch is made up of kind of grunts and the odd specialist. It's very reasonable to assume that he might be as a specialist away doing something else at the time you're talking about. And everything he was talking about the information about the watch, who the captain was, the signal for corruption, the fact that he was saying that he didn't want any part of that, they were trying to root it out. There's nothing that feels off for that story at all. It feels like a member of the party trying to join you.
Wilfred holds out a hand for you to shake.
Tennis will shake his hand.
Okay. You get 6 points of healing.
Ooh. Thank you kindly.
That'd be a great start to a new friendship.
I mean, you definitely helped us out of that pickle there. I mean, it's not the worst situation we've been in, but it's definitely one of the best.
I think Faust would be like,
we
had it. We had it.
I'm sure you did, my friend.
I think if you could just make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, fuck's sake. Sure.
Okay.
Come on, wisdom's the only thing I've got.
Faust would just say, if you could just let us know what you're up to here, and just let us know truthfully what's been going on, what the plan is, just as like a final. Is this guy really telling the truth?
Hold on, let me just read this.
If
Creatures that can't be charmed are immune to spect. I'm a high elf, so do I have advantage against charms, or is it immune?
It's one of the two. Let me just quickly.
I've just posted it. Advantage on saving throws against being charmed.
So it's 21.
So would I have got advantage?
The thing is, there is no way that if you were to act as though you were following his suggestion, there's no way that Faust would know that it didn't work.
Okay, all right. Well, either way, he wouldn't. He would. Obviously, he was going to tell you this stuff anyway. You didn't need that suggestion. So I guess, he'd explain that he's been tasked to scout ahead. With his abilities, he's the least likely to, die or whatever, and most likely to get back alive and send a message. He also has some other skills of other ways of informing the watch if it deems necessary.
I mean, your timing couldn't be better. We desperately need to get hold of the governor and the forces of Anthem Pearl.
I mean, what do you need to tell them? I'll let you know if they already know, or at least what they've told me. I'm not the right hand man of the of the governor, but
Can
you know,
you
I'm a few levels down.
can you
Like
can
my
you let
very superior is.
um
Sorry. go on.
in what way? No, no, that's right. But I say depending on what we need to tell them depends on the method of the message. Are you going to go back yourself and tell them? Do you have any kind of means?
I know the sending spell.
Ooh, a short message of 25 words or less. Okay.
It does take up a spell slot, so I don't want to be sending messages every second of the day.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't necessarily. Let's say can we just assume that Tenos has updated Wilfred on it, at least what's happened in the past kind of 24 hours with um, the lead Praxis has been dispatched, lieutenants of the Vale have been dispatched, Roth has taken command of the Vale, no, of Sleep's Vow, um, and there's almost certainly a god coming here in the not too distant future to kill us all. I'm not necessarily saying anything about the sword quite yet, but more or less, let me assume that's been conveyed.
Okay, so basically the stuff in regards to the reason why you called the army to help partly have been changed due to the death of Praxis.
Yes, absolutely. I
But the
think
threat of Athelion is still there.
the exactly. So the assuming the motivations of the army are true and not to seize power of the hammer.
You say that there's you see it's kind of expression from Wilfred when you say to seize power.
Ooh, okay.
What's that expression exactly?
Any more blue flashes?
Kind of like a little wince.
As in, that's definitely the case, or as in, definitely not?
As in, maybe in rumours.
Well, I mean, if you can send a nice concise message, I, let's go along the lines of Praxis.
Praxis dead. Lieutenant's dead. Sleepless Vow. Assigns to Rosh.
So, some more information that your characters would know and remember, and piece together, is that you would know that kind of you've cut the head off the snake essentially, but you know the individual members of the Vale still had their orders, and they are carrying them out, and you also the Praxis's whole thing was he was brought into kind of the official leadership structure of the government of the Hammer, and so the kind of the militia and the Vale and all of that stuff is ultimately now answerable to the High Lords, who all ran away. And so you've taken out the leadership of the criminal element, but the High Lords, who were talked around to Praxis's way of thinking, are still out there, and the people who are kind of the foot soldiers, if you like, of the Vale are still doing exactly what they were ordered to do. So that's stuff that you as characters would know.
Yeah, essentially they haven't been told your leaders are dead, you need to disband, your organisation has been disbanded, do something else.
So we
Maybe there needs to
can.
be an announcement to be made.
I reckon either we go big and flashy with the announcement. We can. It might be slower, but we can post on the notice board in
If
a
only we
discreet way.
had somebody who's really, the whole class is about making big performances.
Else, can you
Although
create
he's
a A little matinee.
His shitty deal's gonna mean they won't get anything out.
Okay, so the High Lords, are we expecting them to come back, presumably?
I mean, they just run out of the citadel.
They ran out to their home, I assume. They have their own area on the map where the High Lords live. They probably just ran off there and went to hide, and then probably after things cool down, they'd probably go back to the Hammer.
I mean, we could go straight to the watch in Hampton Bell. Say, look, you need to round up the High Lords, have a bit of a Cobra conference, and sort this shit out. Because the watch ultimately answered to the High Lords, and there might be a better place to find them, or at least contact them without suspicion, as opposed to us just knocking on the door and say, "Oi, get back in, get back to your dragon, sit down, let's do this."
I think probably it's sensible to get to the Hall of Hammer and see what the status is of the blade and the dragon, and see if the High Lords are there.
Yeah. I suppose if we want to start with the High Lords.
If we're on about moving out, Wilfred would ask if we could stop by the Square of the Gods, as he has to do some prep work.
Oh, we're there. We go straight past it.
What kind of
a dickish thing to say. I think Faust would say we have very little time for the gods. We need to get going.
Won't take long. It will be. How long does it take?
Well,
one action. So yeah, it should
6 seconds.
If you're going to the Square of the Gods, I'd like to stop by the ladies.
Bet you would.
Well, I suppose you'd probably say a few more things. So he'd probably have been in contact with the army, the Watcher. He'd explain. He'd say how far away the army is. I'm assuming I'd know that.
So based on where you left them and to kind of scout ahead and how fast they were going, you would be able to tell. You'd be able to tell the party that they were making much better time than they thought. They'd sent other scouts out because you'd informed them of Athelian walking, and maybe that's one of the things that hastened their pace. But it seems like the Amsonville forces are going to arrive in advance of Athelian. They seem to be moving much faster. Athelian is a bit more less direct. But Amsonville forces, we've got a day at most.
If you can spare a spell slot to send a message to the governor about the leadership, what's happened to the leadership of the Vale. That was probably the immediate. I think. Do you agree, Fal?
I think so. Explaining Praxis dead, Lieutenant's dead. Roche tasked with managing the Secrets Vow, seeking to befriend Hammerwatch and Vale awaiting instructions.
Could you do me a favour? Just, and this is really pernickety, but just because there's a limit on the words, but also there might be implications for how this is interpreted. Can you write down, in either the chat on Discord or WhatsApp, what message is being sent?
I'm currently typing out something.
So it's so you know the intention of what everyone's saying, but ultimately it is the one sending the message who is the ultimate decider of what is sent, because they are casting the spell.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any assumptions about what you do and don't leave out.
Yeah. What was there? There's the veil's gone with the beholder dead. Or the veil leaders. I've got veil leaders fallen, beholder dead, Rosh leading resistance. That's currently 8 words. I can have 25. What else
Okay.
do I need to?
What about how's this?
Delay attack.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it in a way that I think the watch, or I guess the army would. Oh, you put it in. I'm trying to figure out what chat you put it in. You put it in. Yeah.
Roll 20.
Practice sling, talent sling, sleep spell, just. Okay. So.
Okay, what about this? This is slightly more sensible.
Yeah, fair. It's just something because we are outside of our original quest. Mostly.
Okay.
Is there any
Pay-
improvement on that?
Payment? Question mark.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
Destruction. Okay, I think this is as concise as it gets. We're scraping the barrel here.
I'm just taking
about that?
ideas here. I'm writing my own one, but I'm taking ideas. That's essentially,
Payment would be nice. I think it's fair for us to relay it to Wilfred, and then Wilfred would convey it.
I think we can convey somewhat nicely the gist of it.
Well, while Faust and Wilfred are figuring that out, Tanos is gonna head to the ladies.
Okay, I think can we kind of walk and talk?
Yeah.
As this is happening.
While
I'll get this sorted and then I'll send it to Rick.
Cool. Excellent. So you are heading to the ladies?
But Tanos is at least to say that I've got a quick pit stop. I can either meet you at Spur of the Gods or meet you out front of the Hammer. What would you rather? Or you can come with me.
I think I think we've all got to walk past the Square of the Gods. If he's literally just casting one spell that's 6 seconds, or are you looking to do your nonsense praying?
Oh no, I don't do any of that praying stuff.
Faust looks slightly shocked. Like, oh, good.
I just do my part, and the gods support me.
Faust, like at the statement of the gods supporting you, kind of like half gags. It's like, oh, them gods, eh?
So
They're a tricky bunch.
So as you approach the Square of the Gods, there's nothing that looks particularly out of line. There's kind of the usual comings and goings, but there's, as with everywhere in the city, there's kind of a sense of nervousness and unease as these preparations are being made for war. So there's kind of, for the gods that are more kind of for protection and soldiery and that kind of thing, there's quite a lot of offerings and people there. But for the kind of more everyday gods, there's fewer people there. The only thing that really stands out to you is that you can see what looks like an architect and like a stonemason, various kind of guild people looking at a blank area in front of you, and one of them is holding up drawings and conversing with his colleagues, and you just catch just a tail end of a conversation. I said, yeah, I think this would be the perfect place for the statue, and we should have a plaque that says something grand. Dovkin the Brave, Dovkin the Noble, something like that. We'll figure out the details, but this is where the statue needs to be, I think.
Does the rings do anything?
I say, what about Dorfkin the Betrayed?
No, that's Slicks. He got betrayed. Dovkin was not betrayed.
Dorfkin was betrayed
By who?
by Ormater.
Dovkin the Martyr.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, Dovkin the Martyr. Yes, that's what we would call him. And the ring, you can hear in your head, I deserve no statues. This is bigger than all of them. They'll never realise. And it's just kind of like you get a feeling of, I can't believe they're doing this, but not a go and stop it.
Faust would just on their marking would just kind of change it to Dorfkin Betrayed.
Ooh.
Like walk away, shaking their heads, shaking his head.
Okay. So you make it to where you're going in the Square of the Gods.
He'd be looking for a statue of Lathander, the god of birth and renewal. As that is the main person who has been backing him.
Yeah, you find the statue, like the shrine.
I would like to. Can I only tell you what I'm doing, as I want it to be a surprise later on?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Everyone else, headphones off.
Okay, so I'm going to be casting Word of Recall here,
Okay.
which allows me to teleport 5 willing creatures within 5 feet to a previously designed sanctuary, and to design a sanctuary, I have to cast the spell within a location such as a temple dedicated to or strongly linked to your deity. If you attempt to cast a spell in this manner in an area that isn't dedicated to your deity, the spell has no effect.
Gotcha. Perfect. Yeah, you do that completely.
It's a 6th level spell, so I'm gonna have to rest before I can actually cast it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is done.
Right. Alright, my work here is done.
What was the name of your god?
Lathander.
And thank you kindly.
It seems our ideals align bestly, and he's offered me his support many a time.
I will say, not necessarily sarcastically, but just I lose track of these gods. Only track what I can see.
Yeah, I think Faust would say, yeah, let's see if he shows up when he's actually needed, shall we?
Hey, they all work in their own ways, but
Or not
I
at
do
all.
what I can.
Oh, in some cases.
Hey,
Okay, so you make your way to the ladies.
We're done in the square.
yeah, that's all I need to do. Just a bit of prep.
Are you familiar with the ladies, Wilfred? And then I will like wink.
Um, if you mean, the general populace, I do know of the female gender, if that's what you're asking. I've lived a long time. I've had my fun here and there, but I do not have my own lady. However, if you're talking about the old crones, I've had a few dealings with them in the past, but they work in mysterious ways. I tend not to seek them out purposely, although it looks like that's about to change.
I mean, I've seen both sides of the ladies. One of my previous companions ended up marrying one of those old crones.
Wait, you talking about that strange marriage in Anson Burl a few months ago?
Yeah,
It was a very
beautiful
strange
ceremony.
festival. I don't think there was anybody in some Bill that didn't see what happened.
Can't quite unsee it.
I know. Bloody. I don't. What was with all that blue paint? I don't get it.
Oh, you think it was paint?
He just looks at you like, what?
So as you approach, as you approach the house, the front door is already open, and you can see activity inside. It's all inside. How are you approaching?
Tanos will approach the door, and just speak into the doorway and just say, good ladies, are you home?
Ah, well. We just meet again. It's been not long since we last parted ways.
Not long indeed. May I enter?
Long
I will
enough,
be
I
quick.
see. Long enough, I see for you to have gained a new companion. This is very good.
We need all the help we can get.
Nice to meet you guys.
Well met.
Tanos will look back at Faust. Say, are you coming in?
I think Faust would go to the door and see if Buttercup is visible.
You can see her in the room at the back. As she kind of sees you, she stands up, looking like she's going to kind of go over, but then she remembers herself and stands very still, and she bows her head. It's mighty nice to see y'all again.
Tanos
I
will.
think Faust.
Oh, go
Faust
on.
would just go to enter.
The other two ladies have their eyes locked on you, and Lady Adira says, "You're of course welcome to enter our home, as long as you do not mess anything up or try any mischief or trickery. You know who we're speaking to."
he'd stride over to stride over to Buttercup, and as she's saying, "None of this nonsense," just flick a coin of Mephistopheles towards her.
Towards
Jesus Christ.
towards Lady Adira.
Yeah. And you
She
just
waves
go
her
to.
hand as it's in midair. She waves her hand, and ice covers it. It stops in the air and falls to the ground.
I said,
He would like to think that he has power and influence over us, but he's sorely mistaken. He'll soon see the error of his ways, I have no doubt.
I think it's fairly clear you ladies can look after yourselves, and he'd look to give Buttercup a big hug.
No one stops you. She takes her a minute to kind of loosen up, but she kind of very gingerly gives you a hug back. And
Okay.
she whispers in your ear, "Are you safe? Y'all look a little different. Are you safe?"
More or less.
Can we see Tauchi's book?
You can see a number of books.
Okay.
They're all, if you were to describe Tauchi's book, they all fit the description. So there's one in Lady Dahlia's arms. There's a few kind of dotted around on a table, on the floor, a shelf. There's about 10 books that you would describe as the same size, bound in red leather. They all seem in various stages of freshness or tatteriness.
Fair enough. So Thanos will continue to say, a lot's happened, even though we only saw you a short while ago. I've come to see if your offer still stands, and tapped on his breastplate tapped on the inside of his shield for Clive to come out.
Clive scuttles out. Well, we had a deal. We had an agreement. You got your gift. You want more, you say?
If it's in your power and inclination to give it.
Much is in my power, but there's a law of equivalent exchange. Something given must not be given for free. What do you offer in return?
I offer what you spoke of last, and pulls out the polymorph one.
My price has not changed. Very well. Hand it over. And as she takes it from you, Lady Dahlia skips over. And she seems very excited. Oh, gosh! I'm so happy to have him back. Oh, I'm going to play with him. I'm going to talk to him. And maybe I'll put him right just how he used to be. And she skips off with the wand. It's a very odd thing to say about a wand, but you know, these are odd ladies. So you have given us a gift, and I believe in exchange, we offered a body for your companion.
So Thanos will kind of holding up his arm like you would do, like a falcon resting up, and just kind of look towards Clive and say, "Is this what you want?"
Clive will look at you and kind of nuzzle up against your cheek, and then give you a thumbs up.
And then kind of look back towards the lady thing. Let's do this. As he wishes.
Tell me, what form of body would your son like?
Is Clive able to communicate in a meaningful way?
You
Turned into
can.
like a Skyrim character creation.
You've got so you've got a couple of options. You can try and interpret what he's after. You can spend the time to have him write something out, but that takes time. It's very sketchy.
Yeah.
If you've got any other devices, spells, or anything like that that I haven't kept track of, you can try that.
I could probably use message with that, because that's non-verbal communication.
Good.
Okay.
I was going to try.
Go on.
I was going to try. A kind of tap on Sildar's helm. Say, Sildar, is there any way that you could communicate on behalf of Clive for us?
I can try, my dear boy. I can try. I've never done a hand before. Not head. That's normally where I go. It's normally the head. That's the tradition, and it's a tradition that stretches back long before I was born, but it's one that seems to have stuck around. But give me a go. This bound. Which end is the head end? Put me on there. Let's see what we get.
So, Tennis will take off the helm and kind of place it on the floor like a bowl, and ask Clive to jump on in head end first.
So Clive dives in, and kind of it rocks the helmet over. So on the floor is a little helmet that scuttles around for a bit and stops. Did you give? I'm assuming you told Hallwinter what you wanted to ask Clive, and then report back.
I mean, I assumed he was listening to the general conversation in the hut and kind of picked up on the gist of it. But if not, then yes, we'd kind of say, look, can you communicate? Can you get the gist from Clive what kind of body he wants, just so he doesn't end up with a rat body, or if he wants to be a dragonborn or whatever.
Do you want to have any say on this, or do you want this to be what Clive's hand would say?
What Clive would say.
Okay.
Thanos will. He's always wanted Clive to be his own man, be his own hand.
Okay. So as you pick the helmet back up and put it back on, Sildar says to you, the exact words he used were, "Father, I want to be strong, to make you proud, and carry on your work." And big and strong, I think, is what he's after. And Lady Adira, having seemingly heard this, says to you directly, well, there's a few choices here. She looks towards Faust. You have some remnants of a companion. We could use them to make a body. Strong as stone. Completely under Clive's control. Or, I'm sure that you could find an unwilling volunteer, let's say. If we were to make one ourselves, it may not look so fair and handsome, but it would certainly be strong.
I think Faust would sit there for a minute, and then would approach Tenos, take off his necklace, hand it to him, and say, let's see this through.
Tenos, given what you know about the other possibilities of people and things you've come across, it's entirely up to you as to whether you want to accept this offer or suggest something else.
I think Tenos would be slightly surprised with our offer of generosity. Not wouldn't necessarily refuse it. And we'll just kind of put our hands on his shoulder and say, thank you. Free will is important. The ability to choose one's fate. Yeah, let's do it.
Clive's hand crawls up to your shoulder and again nuzzles your face and seems quite happy by this prospect. And Lady Adira says, very well. It seems the links between you are being forged stronger and stronger. And she kind of moves her hand around, starts muttering. Her eyes kind of roll back in her head, and she starts muttering. And the dust of the bits of your golem that you collected up starts swirling around. The amulet itself turns to dust and flies and surrounds itself around Clive's hand, and then at 2 points on the floor as the dust coalesces to form smooth, almost like marble smooth stone, but still absolutely stone, but articulated. It's not the size of a full-on golem, but it looks, because there's kind of material missing, but it looks like a humanoid, blank face, stony face that is kind of the same height-ish as you guys, and Clive's hand is bound up in this dust, and as this figure coalesces, you can see Clive's hand kind of knitted in to a stone arm, and after a while the stiffness of this creature goes, and it very slowly starts moving and it turns to Tenos and says, in the many fights to come, I'll make you proud, Father.
Well, haven't you grown up?
And that feels like a pretty good place to call it.
Yeah.
Inspiration for everyone, because this was an RP heavy session, and everyone RP'd very well, so everyone gets a point of inspiration.
It doesn't stack, right?
It doesn't stack, I'm afraid.
Sorry.
But this, between now and the next session, I imagine there'll be quite a lot of WhatsApp back and forth as messages are relayed, responses brought back, and plans are made for exactly what happens next session. We can do a lot of the stuff that would be kind of straightforward behind the scenes but might take a while to play out. We can do like in between sessions via WhatsApp and stuff. So if you want to say, okay, I send a message to this person, I tell this person go over here, and like coordination stuff, we could do all of that so that then there's a plan so that we can play out a session and roll some dice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that whole scene that just happened, so I think Wilfred's gonna feel like, okay, this is a really wholesome thing that's happening, but you start to feel that maybe Cloud Thunder kind of pushed him towards this group, just so he could witness this happening and try and sway him more towards his, faith with the whole rebirth and renewal thing, which seems highly coincidental. But
Quite.
yeah,
So
Clive's character sheet.
I will do a put a new character sheet in Roll20.
Yeah.
For new Clive, and you'll find out the name that Clive has chosen for himself. But as he has his own body and he is completely independent now, he is an independent NPC.
Cool.
This is where it turns out he's actually a vampire again.
No.
There's
Full
been
circle.
many sides to Clive now. We've had Clive's Hand, Avilk, and now this being
Clive the Colossus.
Ooh. Nice. Are there any more appendages that have been lost along the way that will come back?
I mean, you've now got another cleric. I have ways of bringing the dead back.
I mean, I've got half a beholder on me.
I mean, did it die 10 days ago?
This is one thing that was useful about catching up on this, because I've not dealt with a level 11 cleric before, and so just to kind of like, what crazy game breaking stuff can you do now? I can just
if I was to look at my spells, please don't look through them all, as I want to keep some of them as a surprise.
Okie
we can restrict that character sheet so that not everyone can see it, in the spirit of all of that.
First thing, as Dave jumped into the Discord, it's a new character.
Wilfred.
And I still haven't looked at it.
So Slicks is buggered off.
He's doing his own thing. I've given Rick some pointers of what I want him to do, but we'll see if he comes up again. He's doing his mission that he has basically been ordered to by his group that Taos is also a part of.
Yeah, so the plans that both Slicks and Tenos have left will be followed faithfully. There won't be any kind of like, oh no, they just didn't do that, or they changed their mind. But so they will be off doing both of their things. The only thing that will stop them is struggles they come across. So I might be rolling some stuff outside if they are likely to come across big resistance, or if you happen to cross paths with what they're doing and interfere or help in any way. That'll have an effect.
Oh. Hopefully we see Bloop again.
Maybe
he's actually the real bad guy.
I mean, maybe you're the bad guy.
Hey, that's not friendly.
I feel like Faust is uncharacteristically being nice this session. No offense, Faust.
Yeah, I think Wilfred would have been very supportive of your idea to use your golem other than finding an unwilling subject. He would have been very against that if you had chosen that option.
I've got notes. Say ask ladies help with golem. Like, I'm just escape. Just delete that bit from my notes. Yeah, I think if Wilfred starts talking about that nonsense, he's just going to get banished.
What makes you think I don't have banishment?
I don't know. Are you going to use it? That doesn't sound like a very goody two-shoes thing to do.
It doesn't kill anybody. It puts them on a safe plane. And then I run away. Then when concentration ends, you come back where you were.
Doesn't
Puts them on a
specify
safe plane.
safe plane.
Or if they're not from this plane, it'll send them to the original plane. Well, you got to read your spells before you cast them, Dave.
It doesn't say safe plane at all. Plane of hell.
No, you're reading the wrong one. You're reading the custom spell that I made. Dave.
I'm not looking at shit. I'm looking at my version. Anyway,
I'm sorry, I took banishment. Where is it?
I can't. I'm not looking at your sheet.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't take it. Oh,
Ah.
But yes, you should expect some healing and buffing from this new character, as that's kind of the way he's been designed. He's also hopefully going to try and put the party back on track with the moral compass.
What's his alignment?
I put lawful good, but I think he's more neutral good. So I'm going to change that.
Similar to Tenor, then.
Yeah. So he doesn't follow like a strict set of rules set out by a god that he must follow to the T. He's aware that, he is a pacifist by nature, but he's aware that, not everybody can be saved. So he saves the ones he can.
Sounds good.
So if there is violence, he's going to attempt to make it non-lethal.
Oh, Ollie's here.
Right, Ollie, we're done now.
Oh, you got the camping picture.
Cool.
Yeah, we all got inspiration other than you.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
It
How's
looks
your
a bit
tent?
tenty.
Is it wet?
Let's see. How's the what's the weather pitch?
No. That's Laurie. This is Will still awake.
Oh,
Oh dear.
Like, compared
Go
to
to
my
sleep,
series,
Willie.
that tent looks luxuriously spacious.
There's quite a lot
Hey.
of space. We borrowed it. It's inflatable.
ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
really easy to put it up.
Are you in the middle of a lake?
In a lake.
Yeah, it's inflatable. It's floating.
We're near
Right?
a pond, but in the middle of a forest. It's like these little these little cut out areas. So you have one each.
Ooh.
You must have
It's
good
nice.
signal. You've got a decent video.
That's a problem.
So you must have good signal. Use decent video.
Well, it's 4G, which is weird. It's not that good a signal. Look,
All right, I expect barely 3G in a forest, or is it like a bit more industrialized?
don't know. There's nowhere nearby. The only thing I can think it's Norfolk, so everything's flat. Signal probably goes quite far.
Where are you? Is it Thetford Forest? Where are you?
Should we go and find you?
Near where are we near? Holt. Near Holt.
Kramer Beach.
Near Cromer Beach.
Kremer's nice.
Yeah.
Are you going on the Broads?
I'm going to Cromer tomorrow for the seals.